Hello and welcome back, and today I want to answer a very simple question that a number of you have reached out to me with. It goes as follows. Where the hell is this NAS? The TS-464. That's right. I talked about this QNAP NAS on the channel what feels like about 8,000 years ago, but really I think I did my review maybe a couple of months ago, and since then I thought it would be everywhere by now, and it's nowhere. If you look around, people trying to buy this online, people going around on Reddit and going on QNAP forums and asking where the hell is it? We don't want to go for the older generation device. We want the new one. It clearly exists. That knobber from the internet is talking about it. And you're right. The TS-464, I thought right now would be ubiquitous. I thought it would be completely all over the place. And frankly, it's nowhere. And today I want to discuss and go through the 5 main questions. I've boiled down the Facebook comments and boiled down from the blog and the inquiries to the main questions people are asking about the availability of this device and the answers to those questions. And hopefully today, together, we can know why this system, which is quite in high demand, is nowhere to be found here in the West. So let's go through those questions. So the 5 questions boiled down were as follows. 1. Why is it only available to buy in the East? Japan, China, Taiwan. Why isn't it anywhere in Europe, in the US, or anywhere in Australia? Why can't you get it in any of those locations? It's starting to crop up, but you know it's a lot of import-export with bigger prices. 2. Why isn't it listed on QNAP's own official US and UK and German and Italian page and stuff like that? Why is it only listed in the Eastern websites there? People know it exists. Where's the harm sticking on the official pages? Number 3. And why is it when people are reaching out to distributors, to resellers, to their local e-shops and asking about this device, do lots of them have no idea it exists? You'd think QNAP would be louder about this device, and a lot of people, they go up to their local IT merch and ask them, and they're like, haven't got a clue what you're on about. The 53Ds over there though. And then next, when it is in the East, does that indicate that it is only going to be sold in the East? Because QNAP does have a history of some solutions being China only or being Taiwan only. A lot of the time we see these solutions shown by QNAP on their official pages and they never make it out of the East. Is this going to be one of those? And finally, big question, is the 53D series, such as the 453D, still okay to buy? Because if I can't get a hold of this, but I need a 4-bay RAID solution, I've already decided on QNAP, is the 453D still okay for me? So those are our main 5 questions, which we're now going to get our little scalpel and start cutting our way through. So let's go for question number 1 there, which was, why is it only available in the Eastern regions? Well, all of these solutions, particularly QNAP's has to be said, but the majority of NAS solutions are manufactured. They are designed in Taiwan. The majority of these manufacturers and brands are Taiwanese to begin with. So they are the point of manufacture there. So even when a system is fully unveiled, it's already been through R&D and manufacturing all of that stuff for a great deal of time before this. It's already been in the pipeline. And when that happens, these systems are generally always unveiled in Taiwan first. Although we do see more and more global releases over time, what we find is that these systems, just going by my notes and the dates here, that even the 53D was listed in Taiwan and China several months before it was listed in the US and Europe. Now, that is predominantly because these systems sell better in the East as well. There's a general, it's a simple fact, there is a general higher technological acceptance by the populace in the East than there is in the West. Anyone that's ever been to the likes of Japan or China or or Taipei and gone to those main city hubs can see that even the general billboards and advertisements are a great deal more technical than you find, on the local tube here in the UK. Technologically, and the general public knowledge of these systems is a great deal higher, and therefore they sell better and they sell earlier, and you tend to find that these things sell a great deal faster in the East than they do. So it makes sense in terms of import-export and the point of manufacture for these systems to sell first there if they have to be sold quicker for an easier return back in those regions. The next question was, why hasn't QNAP listed the TS-464 in their on their UK or European websites? And it's nice and simple. They know there is a chain to these things. There is things like reseller feeds. There are things like feeds that a lot of shops have. All the products listed on their websites, they don't manually enter them. They use imported TSVs from distributors, and there are giant distributors that cover not just Europe but the world as well. I think one of the biggest ones in the UK for QNAP is probably going to be the likes of CMS or Hypertech or Tech Data, those sort of companies. Their distribution lists and lists that come from across the channel and stuff like that, these are what those e-shops utilize. So it's because of that that these products have to be entered into that chain of on the official website, on the official feeds, given a price, given availability properly, so it can filter down into that reseller network there. Again, I spent a lot of time, many years working in that industry, and tell me, it is painfully slow, and it's really annoying when you know about a product but it's nowhere listed anywhere online and they can't just boop, pop it on there. Now, when stock becomes available, is generally that is the point during storage allocation when things start to appear. So the minute these things start to appear on QNAP's own website, then the ball starts to move generally from region to region. That's probably one of the main reasons why when the TS-464 has been revealed in a number of outlets, official and unofficial, that the UK and US and European, I should say, regions have still yet to put this on their official websites because they don't want to knock that line of dominoes down quite yet. Now that brings us again to why lots of resellers don't know about the product. Now there's actually two answers there, one good, one bad. The good answer is they simply don't know because there's too many products. And unlike this channel, which is quite dedicated to NAS, a lot of companies really need to get all of the knowledge they do about products from the actual products as they become available. So if the 464 isn't in that domino chain that we talked about, they're not going to know about it because they're not vested in learning about every single one of those NAS products. But the slightly less nice option is a lot of sites do not want you to know, of course, that there is a new release. Because the minute you know about a new release, it means everything that came before it is obsolete and you're going to turn your nose up at it as a consumer. And I know that's a very generalized statement, but it's true. There are a lot of people that will immediately know that a new product like this is now on the market and then decide, nope, the old one, don't want it, no future-proofing, glass ceiling, get out my face. So a lot of e-shops, sadly, will take advantage of this fact and not let you know that new products exist, or may claim ignorance to them because they may lose you as a sale. Now again, you've got to look at it from their point of view. It's their bread and butter. They need to be able to sell things, but there is still a quasi kind of double think I know I don't know methodology going into the sales of those products there that I think you have to really value. Lots of websites, not just my own, but lots of websites out there that talk about these new products that are not chiefly vested by the immediate sales or a connection with a reseller in most cases. And it's a tricky line to follow sometimes. Next, is this product only going to be China only? No, it's not. It's 100% going to be a global release. It is a follow-up to the 53D. It is that and follow-up to that device, and it is going to be worldwide available. The only reason that I can see tangibly that this system has not been so readily distributed is because stocks of the 53D of the Western and European, American and European there, it is still in stock in numerous outlets, and it is seeing tremendous numbers of sales, price drops and seasonal events as well. But the older generation devices are still very much in stock. Now, unlike the situation if you look at stock in the channel and websites like that, you will see that at least as far as stock allocation and stock availability in the East, again, your Taiwan, your Japan, etc., 53Ds are in short supply there or completely gone. Ergo, it makes strategical sense for QNAP to then unleash those new products there. But when it comes to the US, it comes to Europe, the 53D does still have a decent stock level here and is still selling very well. Consequently, it would be less than tactful or tactical to release the 64 series there. You're going to see good prices on the 53D, but it would be remiss not to highlight that one of the main reasons for the 53D still being available and the 64 not being available is because it sells really well and stock levels are still available. They wouldn't, shoot themselves in the foot like that. And the 53D is a good NAS, and with price drops knocking around, it makes a lot of sense Again, it is, the new device is better, but is it 150 to 200 pounds saving better? I'm not so sure about that. Next, is the 53D still okay? I've just touched on it there. It is. The 53D is still a great little NAS. It's got 2.5 GBE. It's got a great little CPU inside there. It's got a PCI upgrade slot there. It is a good NAS. 4K 60 frames per second HDMI out and supporting everything in QTS5. It's still a great NAS. It's still got a tremendous amount of support in the GitHub and Homebrew community and QNAP Club, as well as lots of innovations and updates to the software that are tweaked towards that CPU and architecture, as well as improvements in Plex Media Server performance thanks to that preferences.xml GPU driver fix that we could apply to that CPU, something that is nowhere near ready or good to go in the newer generation device. The 53D is still a very good NAS, and there's a reason why it still sells, there's a reason why it's still available for sale, but QNAP are clearly gearing towards moving it out of the cycle towards the newer generation for Europe and America with those price drops there. So again, if you come to this video trying to answer that simple question, where's the new one? Is the old one okay? We've already discussed where the new one is and when it's hopefully coming in the next couple of months here. But at the same time, the old one is still a bit of a bargain. And with Prime Day just around the corner and seasonal sales that always seem to happen in September, October, November, still could be a great deal there. A price that will only get better when this device eventually lands. But this has been the TS-464. Where the hell is it? I hope you've enjoyed this video and I hope it's answered your questions. If you do have any questions about this that I've not covered, because again I had to boil down a lot of people asking about this device to those 5 questions, but there were a few that missed the mark there. So if you do have a question that wasn't answered about this system, then do stick it in the comments, or more often use the free advice section over on NAS Compares. It allows me and Eddie to answer inquiries a great deal more fairly in a first come first serve basis. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I've linked to the reviews for this box and other stuff in the description, so do check those out if you are still curious about what this device can and cannot do. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Click like if you've enjoyed the video, it helps me out. Click subscribe to learn more, and otherwise I'll see you next time.